Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So Apple's big September event has wrapped up, and while we didn't get any jaw-dropping surprises, there are a few AI-driven updates that are worth look into. Some of these features are refinements, while others push Apple further into the AI space. Today, I'm going to break down the updates that Apple unveiled, from smarter notifications to AI-generated images, and of course, the latest improvements to Siri. Let's get into it. Let's start with AI writing tools. Now, this is not a revolutionary concept if you've used Grammarly or ChatGPT before, but Apple has integrated similar capabilities directly into the operating system. This means you can now proofread, rewrite, and even adjust the tone of your text in real time. For instance, if you're writing a long email or want to condense it down into key points, Apple's AI, or Apple Intelligence, will do that automatically. Let's say you're working on an email, but you're struggling with the tone. You want it to sound more formal or maybe more casual. Instead of rewording everything manually, the AI can adjust that for you. It can also summarize lengthy documents or messages, which is especially handy if you deal with a lot of text. This could be really helpful for sending emails or even content creators drafting scripts. For me, I'd probably use it to rewrite quick notes or emails when I'm in a rush. It's not groundbreaking, but it's practical. Next up is smart replies. You might have seen this in Gmail or even Google Messages, but Apple's bringing it to the iPhone. Basically, the AI reads the context of a conversation and suggests replies. So, if a friend says, "Hey, let's catch up later," instead of just sending a simple "sure," the AI might suggest something more relevant, like, "That sounds good, I'm free at 5 p.m. I can see this being really useful when you're in a rush. For example, if you're on the go and don't have time to type out a thoughtful response, the AI can handle it. That said, it's not exactly new tech. We've seen this on other platforms for years. Apple's just integrating it more tightly with their own ecosystem. One thing I wonder though is how smart it will really be. Sometimes these automated replies feel a bit too generic or impersonal. If Apple's AI can genuinely understand the context well enough to suggest thoughtful, human-like responses, that's a win. But if it's just offering canned responses, it might not add much value beyond saving a few seconds. Priority notifications is where Apple's AI is trying to simplify your day-to-day life by managing the floods of alerts we get. Instead of showing every notification you receive, it summarizes them and highlights the ones that matter the most. The AI prioritizes the ones that are relevant based on your usage patterns and interactions. What's interesting here is how Apple is using machine learning to understand which notifications you actually engage with. Over time, it learns what is important to you. So if you're someone who never opens Instagram alerts, but it always checks email from your boss, the AI will push the emails to the top and let the rest take a backseat. It's essentially filtering out the noise to help you stay focused. This could be really helpful if you, like me, get tons of notifications every day. Whether it's from social media, apps, or even email newsletters, it's easy to get overwhelmed. Instead of constantly checking my phone for every little thing, I would see a clean summary of what's really important. However, I do wonder if people will trust the AI enough to manage their notifications for them. It's a tricky balance, right? What the AI deems important might not always align with what you want to prioritize. There's always the risk of missing something you would actually want to see. So, while this is a neat feature, it will depend on how accurately it can learn your preference. Apple's pushing visual generation with tools like GenMoji and Image Playground. Now, GenMoji lets you create your own emojis based on text descriptions. For example, you could describe something as specific as cowboy frog, and the AI will generate an emoji that matches. Honestly, this feels more like a fun, gimmicky feature. I can see people playing around with it for social media or group chats, but it's not something that's going to change how you use your iPhone. Then there is Image Playground, which allows you to create fully generated images from sketches or descriptions. If you're someone who likes to design or needs quick visuals, this could be handy. Imagine sketching a basic shape of a house or a tree, and then having AI fill in the details, colors, and textures. This uses Apple's AI algorithms to interpret your input and create something polished. However, I do not personally know people who sketches on an iPad or iPhone. I usually see people during meetings using pen or paper for that and then submitting the request to a designer for a digital copy. To my knowledge, I'm not quite sure how broad this is going to be, just because people tend to use pen and paper. That said, Apple is not the first to offer this kind of AI image generation. We've seen similar capabilities with tools like DALL-E and Midjourney. Apple's advantage here is its seamless integration into the ecosystem. Another AI-driven feature is Cleanup, which lets you remove unwanted objects from your photos with a single tap. It's pretty much Apple's version of Google's Magic Eraser, and it works similarly. Highlights something you don't want in the shot, like a person or an object, and the AI automatically removes it while blending the background. This uses machine learning to understand the context of the photo and fill in the removed space with surrounding pixels. So, if there is an unwanted person in the background, the AI reconstructs the area around it, make the edit seamless. Personally, I've had plenty of moments where a great shot was ruined by something in the background. Whether it's someone walking through the frame or just random mess, this could be a lifesaver for a quick photo edit. I've used similar tools before, but having it built directly into the iPhone Photos app makes it super convenient. That said, Apple is a little late to the game here. Google has been doing this for a while, and apps like Photoshop have had object removal for years. Still, it's a welcome addition, especially for those who want quick and easy edits without needing extra software. Alright, Siri has gotten a significant boost this year with AI knowledge and ChatGPT integration. This allows Siri to handle more complex tasks and provide better responses. For example, if you're trying to find something specific on your phone, like a note or a receipt from a month ago, Siri can dig through your app's messages and emails to find it. The key here is that Siri now remembers the context of previous interactions within a conversation. So, if you ask Siri to adjust a setting or pull up some information, it keeps track of what you've already requested and builds on that. The integration with ChatGPT also means that Siri can generate more conversational and nuanced responses, tapping into a much larger database of knowledge. While this sounds great on paper, I'm curious to see how fluid this integration really is. Siri has been playing catch up with Google Assistant and Alexa for years, and this feels like Apple's attempt to bridge that gap. But if it still stumbles over basic tasks or can't handle real-world queries well, it might not live up to its potential. ChatGPT integration could be the game changer here, but the execution will be the key. Apple is introducing live captions across their ecosystem. This feature will automatically caption any audio content in real time, including FaceTime calls, videos, and even podcasts. This is particularly useful for those who are deaf or hard of hearing, but I can also see it being helpful for anyone who prefers reading along with audio content or struggle to understand a foreign language. Whether you're watching a video in a noisy environment or just need a little extra clarity, this feature can provide it. Live captions aren't new. Google's been doing this for a while, but having it built into iOS and macOS is a solid addition. I don't think it's going to be a headline feature for most users. For those who need it, it will be quite useful. Apple has also enhanced its sound adjustment and noise isolation features, especially for AirPods Pro. The AI-driven noise cancellation will now block out background noise even more effectively during calls, and voice isolation feature makes sure your voice stands out clearly. This works by focusing the microphones on the frequencies associated with your voice while dampening other ambient sounds. Whether you're in a crowded cafe or walking down on a busy street, the AI isolates your voice, making it easier for the person on the other end to hear you. This could be really useful if you're someone who takes a lot of calls on the go. I often find myself dealing with background noise while driving or walking around, so having better noise isolation could make a noticeable difference in call quality. It's not entirely new though. Noise isolation is something AirPods have done well for a while, so this feels more like an incremental update rather than a groundbreaking one. Still, for those who rely on their AirPods for calls, it's a welcome improvement. One of the smaller features that I actually find really handy is inbuilt calculator in Notes. Now you can do quick calculations without having to leave the Notes app. It's a minor feature, but one that I think a lot of people will appreciate, especially if you're someone who takes notes during meetings or on calls. I've personally had plenty of moments where I'm jotting something down and need to do a quick calculation, and switching between apps just adds necessary friction. This streamlines that process. It's not revolutionary by any means, but it's one of those quality of life features that just makes the overall experience smoother. I think more features like this, small but practical improvements, are what people actually want to see. So that's the rundown of Apple's AI-driven features from the September event. Honestly, none of these features are revolutionary, but they do reflect Apple's ongoing refinement of its ecosystem. We're seeing more integration of AI into everyday tasks, from writing tools and smart replies to smarter notifications and photo editing. It's clear Apple is pushing toward making its devices more intelligent, but without drastically changing the user experience. For me, the most practical updates are probably the cleanup feature for photo editing and the AI writing tools. These are things I can see myself using pretty regularly. Feature live captions are important steps forward to accessibility, and I'm glad Apple's putting emphasis there. But at the end of the day, a lot of these updates feel more like catching up to the competition than breaking new ground. What about you? Which feature do you think will actually make a difference in your daily life? Let me know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any next deep dive into all things tech. I'll see you in the next video.